glad you're here. You know, I decided to go to a haunted house against better judgment. See, my mom always told me that I shouldn't go to haunted houses because they're scary. And maybe she was right. But I always said, you know, haunted houses aren't real. They're just buildings with, you know, fake stuff flying around. But I went and I was actually kind of scared. So I'm really glad you're here. But you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I had a friend named Joshua once who actually did really scary things because the Lord gave him hope. So let's talk about him today. I think he might actually make us feel a lot better. All right, so pop quiz.
Yay, I bet I know this one.
Okay, you better, because this is actually a repeat from last week.
Okay.
So question 1, who led the Israelites out of Egypt?
I know, Moses.
That is correct.
Ooh.
All right.
Ding, 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 ding.
So while Moses did lead the Israelites out of Egypt, they kind of hung out in the desert for 40 years.
Were they lost?
You know, they didn't have Apple Maps or GPS back then, so they were just kind of winging it. Anyways, so question 2 on our pop quiz. Who led the Israelites out of the desert where they wandered for 40 years and into the promised land?
Moses.
No, not quite. I thought it was Moses too, because that makes sense.
He let him in? Let him out? Right?
No, Moses just let him in. So let's find out who led the Israelites out of the desert.
Okay.
Stories of the Bible. Joshua leads. This is Joshua.
Hello.
Joshua was an Israelite who followed Moses through the wilderness.
1, 2, 3, here we go. Oh, hey.
Joshua learned from Moses as Moses led the Israelites through the Red Sea. And as Moses taught the people about God's law.
Oh, yeah.
I see.
Everyone, listen up.
One day, Moses was talking to the Israelites. He was reminding them of the law and all that God had done for them.
Yeah.
Now, see here, all you.
When Moses had finished giving instructions to the people, he said, "I am no longer able to lead you.
Hold on.
Do not be afraid, for God will neither fail you nor abandon you."
Yeah.
Then Moses called Joshua
Yeah.
and told him to be strong and courageous, for he would lead the Israelites into the promised land.
See?
Then Moses died. To this day, no one knows exactly where he was buried. The people and all of Israel mourned. The people of Israel looked to Joshua to lead them, as Moses had told them.
There he is. Yeah.
God told Joshua to be strong and courageous, for he would be with Joshua wherever he went. He told him to remember what Moses had told him and to study the book of instruction. God told Joshua that it was time to lead the people of Israel across the Jordan River and into the promised land.
Okay, here we are.
Joshua told the Israelite officials to go throughout the camp.
Out there.
They instructed everyone to pack up and get ready to head out.
Come on.
Joshua told the Israelites they were going to cross the Jordan River.
See here. There's what we're going to do, okay?
And so, Joshua prepared to lead his people as the Lord had commanded.
You know, sometimes we're supposed to be strong. Sometimes we're supposed to be courageous. Sometimes we're supposed to be happy, whatever, fill in whatever you want to be about how you feel. But sometimes I don't feel strong. And sometimes I don't feel courageous. And so I think about when they went in the desert and they had to follow him, and then they got out of the desert. And I just think, how scared were they? I would think really, really scared. But the cool thing about it is, and you're going to see a recurring theme here, is that God doesn't leave us. He doesn't take you into the desert and go, bye, it's been fun, see you later, call me in 200 years. He's with you the whole time. And that to me is the most comforting thing we can learn from Scripture, is that no matter what happens in our lives, how good or how bad, God didn't go anywhere. If you don't feel close to God, you're probably the one that left. I mean, God doesn't go anywhere. He is waiting for us to have a conversation. And the example that I always use is if I talk to my daughter or my husband all the time on the phone, when I call, they know my voice. But if somebody calls you and you never speak to them on the phone, you don't know their voice. So the more we talk to God and the more we listen to Him, the more we become familiar with what He's helping us do. And then through all of that, He helps us to be stronger and courageous. Today we have one of my all-time favorite Bible verses, because sometimes I'm afraid. I'm sorry, I am. It comes from Joshua, which is in the Old Testament. It's in the 1st chapter and it's verse 9. It says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." That's an amazing promise.
It's an amazing verse. So just in case you missed it in the video, Moses was the one that God called to lead people out of Egypt. But they were in the desert for so long that Moses actually got pretty old.
Oh.
Like really old, like great-grandpa old. And so when he was about to die, he prayed that someone would come behind him and lead the people out of the desert. And that person was Joshua.
Oh.
And so Moses prayed for Joshua. And it says in Deuteronomy 34, verse 9, that Joshua was filled with a spirit of wisdom after Moses prayed for him.
Wow.
But Joshua still had some fear, because that was a pretty big assignment, because even Moses couldn't do it. Moses, who, as we know, is a hero.
That's a lot to think about.
I know. But Joshua was a great leader because even though he was scared, he still led God's people with hope.
Oh. So even though he was scared, he trusted God, and he did it anyway.
Yep. Sometimes we can do big things when we're scared. Fear doesn't have to stop us. We just have to actually go.
Take the first step.
We just have to take a step. He believed what God said, that the promised land was for them and that it belonged to His people, the Israelites. So when everything looked scary, Joshua believed God over what he could see.
Okay. So our really kind of big thing is, can we always trust God when we're scared?
Yes. Even if we can't see it, we can know that what God says is true because God has never changed.
I love that.
Me too.
Hey you, listen up. I got something inside, can't get enough. It's true, I'm telling you. What you see in me is Jesus. I'm gonna show
right, Mr. Sloth. I think we can do it. Okay. I think I can be strong. All right, so I am strong and courageous. I don't have to be afraid. I don't have to be discouraged because God goes with me everywhere I go. Oh, friends, should we say that again? Because I don't quite feel it yet, but I have to get out of this haunted house somehow. So repeat with me, because if y'all say it with me, I think it might sink in. All right. I am strong and courageous. I don't have to be afraid. I don't have to be discouraged because God goes with me everywhere I go. We did it. See you next week, friends.